Dry County Brewing Company, located less than a mile from Kennesaw State's campus, has been producing quality craft beverages for over 4 years. More than just beer, Dry County was the first brewery in the state of Georgia to obtain its distilling license, allowing them to produce craft cocktails as well. Trey Sinclair is the founder and CEO of Dry County. He was gracious enough to sit down and talk with me about how his company started, as well as how this year has impacted them. Trey, thank you for sitting down for me, taking the time to answer some questions, man.
Anytime. Cheers.
Cheers to that, indeed. So what made you choose to open up a brewery?
Yeah, so opening up Dry County, getting in the beer industry. For me, it was I got into craft beer in college. I went to UGA out in Athens, and someone handed me a Terrapin Rye Pale Ale one night downtown, and I was blown away and wanted to drink as much good local craft beer as I could. That got me into home brewing. Started brewing my own stuff in college, and moved to Kennesaw after I graduated from UGA. And first weekend in town, I was, hey, let's go find the local brewery, the Terrapin of Kennesaw. And there wasn't one. So at the time, I told my homebrew buddies, you know what, we should start the brewery here. And it's a college town, it's a growing town. It's similar to how I'd spent my 4 years in Athens. And so, long story short, that kind of snowballed. And it was a long 7 years after that conversation until we actually started up. But that got us into it. But really, I mean, I think it just goes back to the art and the science of homebrewing really made me passionate about the industry, and then meeting other folks in the industry who had started breweries around the state. They were awesome folks, and there's just a sense of community around this industry that's awesome and kind of draws you into it. So that was something that really drew me to it. I've always been entrepreneurial and wanted to do something that was my own. This kind of just made sense and kind of married both of those things together.
So obviously the story of 2020 has been the coronavirus. How has this pandemic helped or hurt your business?
Yeah, it's obviously that is the story of 2020, right? And it's hard to say it's helped our business in any way because, for one, it just feels bad saying that when there's so many other businesses that have been so negatively impacted and people who've had their lives negatively impacted. But it is definitely a mixed bag this year for us. So it's hurt us in the sense of we rely heavily on bars and restaurants to sell our product, and there's been a lot of government mandates and just common sense for bars not to be as busy as they have been. So that naturally hurts our business. It's helped us in the sense of we have been able to. We've been fortunate in a position where we have a distilled permit, spirits permit, so we were able to shift gears and take our distilled spirits and turn them into hand sanitizer. Fully philanthropically, nothing financial. We never sold those to people or made money off of them, but giving those away here at the brewery has, I think raised awareness about our brand here locally, and also gained us some support locally from folks that have seen us being willing to help in a hard time and all of that. So it's hard to say that the pandemic's helped us, even though there are positives who have been able to help the community and grow closer bonds. But it's definitely hurt a lot of folks, and it's hurting the retail beer industry incredibly, and so that trickles down to us in some respects. So
we've been dealing with this pandemic for about 8 months now, but back in March when all this started, what were some adjustments that had to be made in order for us to keep going forward?
Yeah, obviously in March when this whole thing kind of started, to say it was all new for all of us. Lots of new things, terms, social distancing, employees wearing face masks, having hand sanitizer stations around the brewery. Those things, our industry is built on socializing and talking to people. So to, input things like social distancing, keeping people further apart, limiting group sizes and things like that was pretty foreign and pretty anti what our industry's been about for 100 years, right? So a lot of new things like that, but it's all common sense stuff in the era we're dealing with and fairly easy and straightforward to implement. So that was, in terms of just on the ground here, that was the new stuff. New for us as well was the shift to producing hand sanitizer. That was something we'd never done. A lot of research and a lot of phone calls to figure out how, working with the CDC, with FEMA, with GEMA, to figure that out and do that and supply it. And it was really cool to see that actually get supplied to hospitals around this area in bulk and have Dry County product on a Florida hospital, and not be beers that they're drinking, So that was really cool. And then our industry specifically has shifted a lot towards what they call the off-premise, which is package stores, grocery stores, things like that, cans and bottles, and a lot away from draft beer. So it was a big change, and not necessarily new, but a big change that we and every other competitor of ours had to deal with. So those three things I would say for sure.
Awesome, man. Well, it sounds like you're doing a lot for the community, not only from a beer standpoint, but adjusting to everything and the hand sanitizer. That's really awesome, man. So, cheers to you.
Cheers again.
Continued future success.
Yes, thank you.